And we are live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Becoming Alpha. I'm sitting here with Ryan, our entrepreneur, brand builder, personal trainer, and the unofficial Alpha Digital Roast Master. Most importantly, the owner of Brew Fitness here in Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. So we are sitting here with the Becoming Alpha podcast, going to talk to Ryan here about his journey on becoming an entrepreneur, how he built this brand, any stories he's got, successes, failures, anything that has to do with why we are sitting here today.
Sounds great. Bring it on.
Perfect. So starting out, how did you start this? What got you into personal training or weightlifting in the first place?
Yeah, so I guess like you could rewind quite a ways. I moved to Milwaukee when I was 18. I ran track at UW Milwaukee, and I had a strength coach. I had multiple coaches that worked with me, and it's always interesting, like people that are at a high athletic level, like even at the college level, D1, we still rely on a lot of coaches to put us through our workouts ourselves. You know, we become very educated in what we're doing, but we still rely on people better than us to challenge us. So it's really a good testament that I've been able to utilize over the years after that it doesn't matter if you're in good shape or if you're at a good weight, you can still really always benefit from somebody to push you beyond that comfort zone to always make you a little bit better than what you are. So I started working in the fitness industry straight out of grad school. I worked at a big box gym. They had bought a handful of small location gyms that they were in the process of remodeling, expanding into big 40,000 square foot facilities. And there was one location that they were just struggling to find good real estate for. They couldn't develop into the building that they were currently in. So the CEO actually asked me if I'd be interested in buying that location from them. And it was an interesting thought at the time, but I was pretty much the only one in the company at that time who had worked on all ends of the spectrum. I had worked in sales as a general manager. I had worked in operations, kind of overseeing all the spend and behind the scenes that a lot of people don't think about in a gym. And I had managed multiple personal training departments. So it kind of seemed like a natural fit. So when he asked me if I was interested in buying the gym, I kind of thought to myself, well, what would I do if I had my own gym? So that's actually when I conceptualized Brew Fitness. That's when I came up with our signature brew strength class. And at the time, it just didn't make any sense because my wife just got accepted into PA school and she was moving to Chicago. And I'm like, I can't bankrupt us and open a business when my wife and I are living in 2 different states. So it was a good idea, and I just kind of held on to that notebook, but the timing wasn't right. So fast forward like 3-4 years later, I was kind of just complaining about how I had 3 different gym memberships just to feel like I got a good workout in. And my wife finally said, like, well, why don't you just open your own gym already? So
How long were you at those big box gyms?
I was there for like 2.5 years.
Is that all you did out of college, gyms?
No. So I started out in the fitness industry. I got out of the fitness industry for a few reasons. It was kind of corrupt. I didn't love all the processes that were going wrong. There was a lot of politics and just a lot of backstabbing, I guess, at that gym.
Interesting. Is it like a corporate gym?
It was a fairly big gym, but I mean, the biggest problem I think that they had, and I think they still might struggle with that today, though I don't really keep in touch, was that, you can promise 15 people that like work really hard and like you're going to get a promotion, but those 15 people are all fighting for one spot. And it kind of made things really cutthroat where people were backstabbing people to try to get ahead in the industry. And it just wasn't, it took all the fun out of the fitness environment. We weren't there to actually help people like get healthier or make them fall in love with fitness. We were there treating people like dollar signs and numbers, and it ruined it for me a bit. So I got out of the fitness industry. I started working at a local running store, loved it. I got to work with one-on-one with people who just wanted to run and do fun things. And I worked a lot of like 5Ks and events and races. And it really made me fall back in love with the fitness side of things. So I started teaching group classes, and kind of the timing just came right to open my own gym. There were some gyms out there, but nothing quite like this. And I always thought, yeah, I can do this. Why not?
When did your wife move back?
So she was in school from 2015 to 2017.
Okay, so fairly recently.
Yeah, so she actually just graduated PA school like the month before I opened the gym. So it kind of worked out nice.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, you know, when you open your own business, you plan on not making any money initially. But, you know, when we were used to being broke, I don't know, if broke as fuck. That's when you're really broke and one person goes from working and you just swap and the other person works and you're still broke. Life just remains pretty much the same. Yeah. So it worked out nice. The timing worked out perfect. And I was able to dedicate myself to working here and trying to get this brand up and running and getting it to steamroll like it has. Yeah,
I think that's why we're creating this podcast and why people are here is because you're either broke or you got the money to start a company. And that's why we are sitting here. How did you choose the brand, Brew Fitness?
I mean, we're sitting here drinking beer, not because it's a niche. It's because I love drinking beer.
Did it have anything to do with Milwaukee?
Not really. I mean, maybe. I mean, but even like as far back as college, like my teammates and I would, you know, go run 16, 20 miles and then we'd go have a beer. I mean, back
16,
then it was
20
like,
miles.
We were distance runners. So like, it seems like a lot, but like, it was just kind of like an average Tuesday. And of course we weren't drinking like good beer like we are now. Like we were drinking like Keystone Light or something even shadier than that. But yeah, the same concept. Like we worked hard, but we enjoyed drinking a good beer afterwards. So
isn't that counterintuitive?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
You actually need carbohydrates to refuel after a hard workout. So beer has carbs, tastes delicious. So you know what? Treat yourself.
Yeah, that is very true. So when you started, how did the brand change? You started off with Brew Fitness, and the idea was you wanted intense workouts. That's what you were not seeing from these big box gyms. And how did you see it change? How long have you been in business?
Will be 3 years in July. So
3 years.
Is it better to say 2.5 or to round up to almost 3?
I'd round up to 3.
Okay.
How long did it take for you to see a profit?
We started seeing a profit actually. It was about 6 months in. We started seeing a consistent profit. So the way you're able to usually structure a lease is you usually get a few months free where you don't pay rent on the beginning. So depending on how you can structure a lease, you know, you can either negotiate like a scaled rent where you pay less upfront as your business grows, or possibly just get a few months free on the front side of it. So we had 2 months free at the beginning of our lease, and it took about 6 months to get a consistent profit. I mean, we weren't like losing a ton of money. I worked out a pretty good lease on this space. We took it pretty much as is, and all the renovations that we did to it, I did myself, which I think growing up, like working on like my grandpa's family farm, like I knew what hard work was, and like I wasn't afraid to do it myself. So like even in our new addition we just did, I laid all the flooring, I did all the painting, you know, I did a lot of the stuff myself. So it took about 6 months to see a consistent profit, but like I said, when you were used to being broke, we just kind of kept all the profits and put it back into the business. So that way we could reinvest that into some more equipment as our member base grew, and then just establishing a nice little savings account, you know, for in case, you know, the market changes or you have a couple bad months. So that way you're not like worried you're not going to make payroll or anything like that.
And in those 6 months, is there anything that puts you into that successful place? Anything that you did that turned the profit?
Well, I think opening a gym in July did not help.
Probably not.
It's probably the worst time to open a gym. Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful outside, and you're trying to convince people to, no, come inside, out of the fresh air and sunshine. Come work out in here. So we actually had a really big boost about 6 months after we opened, but that's also because it was that November, December timeframe where people were looking to get back into the fitness industry. So we took the first like 4 or 5 months and kind of got our name out there a little bit.
And how'd you do that?
You know, we did a direct mailer to start, which was good in the fact that, like, honestly, if one person joined the gym off that direct mailer, it would pay for itself, you know, over the course of that membership. But it just got our name out there. You know, even if people look at it and throw it in the garbage, they read our name. So that way, when they heard it again, it wasn't the first time they heard it. So they could call back to it and be like, yeah, I've heard of that place. Yeah. Where is it again? Or what do they do? But at least put our logo and got our name in front of someplace. So the direct mailer was the first thing we did. And then we just hit social media as much as we could. I mean, I had a lot of free time throughout the day because we had very few people working out with us. Yeah. But it was slow and steady growth that we had. I think a lot of it was just, you know, reinvesting in our members that we had. We spent a ton of time with every member to provide what I thought big box gyms couldn't do. And that was, when you walk in the door, like, I'm not just going to say, hey, welcome to the gym. It was, hi, like Sarah or Ashley or Mark, and specifically by name, and, remember stuff about them. How was your trip? How was this? And that personal touch that I think a lot of big box gyms lose. I made that my number one focus on making sure that people felt like this wasn't just a place they came to work out, but this was a place that like really knew them. If somebody, maybe they were training for a half marathon and they had some tight IT bands along the way, so like they were trying to avoid some of the movements that aggravated it. I would already have, like, I knew they were coming to that class. I would already have like a different move set up for them when they got there, so that way, I was prepared for it, and they knew like, wow, like he remembers that, he knows that, like he's got me covered. It was almost like I wanted to make sure that every person in the room felt like they were the only person in the room.
Was that a skill that you had to learn, or that you learned through the big box gyms? I don't
necessarily feel like I had to learn it. I feel like that's the way I always wanted to be treated.
Sure.
And, what do they say? Do unto others as
you want to be done unto you.
As you want to be done unto Something along those lines.
The golden rule, we call it.
It's the same point. It's that philosophy. I wanted to treat people with that personal aspect, and that's really what started making things steamroll. Is we got a few members in the door, and it was a lot of word of mouth. The first year, most of our members came because like, hey, I'm friends of Tara, or I'm friends of Kyle, and it's like they just would come right in because like it was all referrals.
Sure.
Now it's a very different story. Now we have, people just blindly inquiring and blindly buying memberships, having never been here before, just because there's a lot of buzz around the gym now, which is fantastic. But back then, it really was the hard work we put in on the ground floor to build, the quality of the brand, which I think no matter what business you do, you got to be, not only a 5-star on, Google, Yelp, and all those things, but you actually have to be 5 stars in person every day.
Yeah. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Be 5 stars in person. Yeah. And you always are, Ryan.
Actually, you can't just portray like this cool, fun place that has great workouts and like cares about you. You actually have to do that. You have to be fun. You have to be cool. You have to care about them every single day. If I'm having a bad day, I can't like be, brash to my members. Or
I've never seen you in a bad mood.
That's probably false.
How is that?
That's probably very false, but I put on a good front sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Put that to the side because,
exactly.
People come to the gym for different reasons. And I always love when people like blindly will post something online about like, shout out to my gym for like, getting me through this awful like week of work and stuff. And, they never told you they were having a bad week at work. It's things that people keep to themselves, but like people use things in life as their way to escape some of their stresses. And they don't always share those with you. But the fact that like, they always say that you don't know what somebody else is going through, so don't judge them. Yeah, you don't know what anyone's going through. So I always just wanted to be like the most positive part of their day. So it's really cool when people post that or share something with you. And like you can feel like, yeah, I own a gym, but I'm way bigger than a gym.
Yeah.
Like this is way bigger than that. Like it's about, getting healthy and losing weight and getting stronger, but this is about mental health just as much as it is about physical health. And that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned about this style gym. And it really sets the bar really high for myself and all of my staff to make sure that, we are on our A game every day because, if somebody's not on their A game, like it's kind of our responsibility to bring them up or to make sure they leave here feeling better, feeling more positive about whatever than what they came in with.
So speaking of staff, you talked about the big box gyms. They were all competing for one spot, and it makes sense. So how do you keep a community here or a good community within the staff? Is there anything you do specifically? How do you choose your staff?
Well, I hired you briefly. So obviously I do make flaws in my hiring process.
Explain what happened there.
I was desperate.
You heard my side of it.
No, God. No. This is how I met Dan. This is a sidebar. This is how I met Dan. The gym was growing at like a pretty rapid pace. And, I had just hired another trainer to work with us. And we didn't necessarily need another person to work with clients. We just needed somebody to just like be the glue to like take care of some odds and ends here and there. Plus, I really suck at marketing, so somebody that was good at marketing would fit into that role nicely.
I was learning.
Dan applied, and his strong point was marketing. You know, he also had the personality of a snail. So I hired him because I thought he could do some really fun marketing things, and maybe he would come out of his shell a little bit. And you didn't, but you did some really fun marketing things that we still have. A lot of the photography and stuff that you did, a lot of the videos that you did initially when you launched Alpha Digital. We still utilize all this stuff because it was fantastic. You were great at that. So it was kind of a mutual separation. You know, your business was taking off a little bit.
I tried, Ryan.
You did try, and I appreciate that.
You're like, learn their names, and I'm like, I'd try. It's just like, it's so hard for me. I understand that needs to be something, especially in the business world. It's like you said, it's when your clients are, especially for you, when your clients are your members, you have to be at your A game 100% and make them feel. And it's the same with us. It's the same thing that we're learning when we're in there talking to clients. It's just about making them feel something. That's why we got you something.
Absolutely.
Got you a nice little tea.
By the way, I was promoting your business to some members today. They were talking about some Airbnb listings, and I brought up the whole real estate virtual tours and stuff, and trying to get you some more business. You know.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, who was the girl at the singles? Fat Daddies or something?
Steph Jackson from Fat Daddies.
Fat Daddies.
Not single, but came to the singles workout.
Yeah.
I have not seen her boyfriend in over a year. I think she murdered him. And he is dead in a basement somewhere.
Maybe she's using that for the food at Fat Daddy's.
Oh, God. You're going to have to edit that out. We'll have to get her permission to keep that clip in.
We'll send it. But no, Steph, hit us up. Let's talk. She was like, yeah, Ryan gave me your number, and I've been meaning to hit you up, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, cool, hit me up. And then it just kind of, I don't know.
Then you opened your mouth more, and she got to know
probably,
you and decided not to call.
That's what happens. I talk too much. See, you say that I'm a snail, but I talk too much in the bad occasions. So it's like, where's the medium here?
Yeah.
I got to figure it out.
I was supposed to answer.
Oh, yeah, it was staff.
Yeah. So my biggest thing, and my wife is actually a really great judge of character, and there's sometimes I will...
Is that why I got fired?
Probably. She probably wanted me to fire you.
Or mutually separated?
No, like, she's really great at, like, I don't know, kind of seeing, not through somebody, but seeing into them a little bit more. Like, you know, when somebody does things, like, she's really good at just reading them. My wife's very introverted, and she takes a little bit longer to kind of, you know, process, like, her initial, like, gut feeling on a person. Yeah. So, like, I might meet somebody and 30 seconds later be like, you're amazing, let's do this, you're hired. And she's like, I don't know. It takes a little bit while to, like, grow on her. Sure. Which obviously you did not.
Hey, she's asking for podcast services here. And ideas.
She wants to use you for your...
What's she using you for?
For this. This is not that kind of podcast.
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
But no, so that's the biggest thing. Like, you know, you can read somebody's resume and they can have all these, you know, certifications and stuff, but it's really the personality. Exception to the cause. But I think
so skill dominates personality in some
marketing,
facets.
In digital marketing, yes.
In digital marketing, yeah. I can agree with that.
But yeah, when the biggest thing is, I always told people, like, you might not know 100% about the fitness industry, but I can teach you that. You know, I pride myself on being a really great teacher in that regard. I can't teach you how to really have a great personality and how to interact with people. And it was always interesting. I'm going to throw Nick under the bus a little bit now. So I hired Nick back in August, and I was so confused after he would, like, start demonstrating a class. He would, like, run into the back room for a second, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, Nick, get your ass out there. I didn't realize he was toweling off because he was so nervous. He was sweating through his shirt. So he was so nervous to be in front of people. So fast forward 6 months, and he's come, like, night and day different. Like,
awesome.
His personality's coming out more. But, like, that's the thing. Like, that's the personality that I knew he had. So it's just about, you know, finding somebody that, you know, portrays your brand in, like, the morals a little bit. You know, like, are you genuinely, like, a good person? You know, you can be super fit and super smart, but you can be a total douchebag. Not into that.
Very true. Is it difficult for you to find people, to find good employees, good trainers?
I think I found a pretty great staff right now.
I think you do, yeah.
I have nobody on staff that I don't think is phenomenal. So
yeah. What's turnover like? Do you have any troubles with that?
I haven't had any. Well, I've had some yoga instructors leave just because they have a lot of yoga instructors just do it part-time. Like they have day jobs and they'll teach, and then, their day job might change and they might not be available to teach Tuesday nights anymore.
Yeah.
So like we have some turnover, but then they just kind of become stubs. I really haven't had a whole lot of like turnover in that regard. And as far as like my trainers, I haven't lost a single trainer. We've just been adding over the course of going on 3 years now.
What's the average they stay? I mean, you've only been for 3 years, but
I mean, like I said, they haven't.
What's
left.
the longest?
They haven't left.
Really?
Well, I hired Matt like 3 weeks after I opened.
Oh,
so
yeah.
a lot of people think Matt is a co-owner because he's been with me since almost day one. But Matt does not own any of this. He owes me a lot of money if he wants to be an owner of this.
Oh. And he got another job too.
He's a writer too. I mean, that's his passion. But like, he never wanted to leave this industry. So he's still working part-time with us and writing about sports gambling, which I think is super boring.
Does he enjoy it?
Obviously.
Okay.
Not when he has to write about like, I don't want to offend anyone here.
No?
Certain sports he doesn't like to write about. There we go. Maybe after another pitcher of beer we can offend somebody.
All right, I'll ask it again after the other pitcher.
Yeah, Brandon, can you refill this? And can you not make it all full of foam?
Sideways. You may. I like to fidget.
I don't know why he needs a pen to fill up a pitcher of beer.
He's pouring ink into it.
Oh, great.
So whatever happened with the yoga studio upstairs? They went out of business and you basically inherited yogis?
So that was kind of a cool part of like our timeline. So we opened in July, and back in like March or so, I think it was March, I read an article online saying that the yoga studio upstairs was closing and a bakery was moving in, and I confronted the girl who owned the yoga studio, and she said, "Oh yeah, that was news to me when I read that article too." So it's kind of a funny story how I think she had told the building that she was very pregnant, and she taught most of the classes. So I think just having a baby and like stuff, it just, she wanted to get out of, owning her own studio to kind of free her up. She didn't want to have like too many stresses and wanted to focus on having her baby and stuff. So I think she had told the building, well, if you can lease the space out, like I'd be interested in ending my lease early. But I don't think they ever like formally like had anything signed. And I also think the bakery like jumped the gun a little bit about like getting a press release out. But it was very funny how she's like, yeah, that was news to me too. Apparently I'm closing in 3 weeks.
So she owned it.
Yeah. So
did she come back to it or
no? So it's so she ended up closing the yoga studio. She had a baby like a month later. But I hired all the yoga staff on. I bought all of her yoga equipment, and we just did yoga in our space, for the next year and a half until we did our addition and finally put in a formal yoga studio.
And did you get a lot of people coming in for that?
We had a decent amount.
Did you inherit that?
We weren't I didn't buy the business because all the memberships were essentially month to month. So not a great business move to buy month to month memberships because you could pay a lot of money for theoretical memberships that they could all just cancel.
But how did you connect with them? With those yoga people?
We offered a bunch of free classes to anyone who was part of the yoga studio that wanted to come down and try our classes, try yoga in our space. I mean, obviously it wasn't like a Zen, serene yoga studio. We just killed the lights, put some floral lamps out, and people did yoga. But it was good because we had a lot of people that were like interested in like doing more than yoga. So this was a really great place for them. And then there were certain people that, they strictly like doing like very traditional yoga, and it just wasn't a great fit at the time. And it's actually cool how we're getting some of them to come back now because we have an actual dedicated yoga studio. But it was a cool thing. We just, we probably, I don't know, maybe a third of their member base ended up just joining the gym down here, which is cool.
Do you still see them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So it was good. It was a good transition. I think it worked out good for everyone. Maren didn't have to go fill her garage full of yoga mats and everything she owned from the business. And I think she probably felt good about the situation too, that she was able to not just be like, hey, sorry everyone, like we're closed. But like, hey, like we're closing, like I get it, it sucks, but like you also like you can keep, coming here. You just got to go downstairs to Brew Fitness. and they're going to take care of you and, you know, honor the same membership prices. I actually dropped the membership prices down because I felt it wasn't fair to be paying that same amount when it wasn't like a true yoga studio. I mean, we did yoga, traditional yoga classes, but it just, you know, you were doing you know, different yoga poses next to a pile of kettlebells and stuff. And
so just yoga prices went down, or you offered a lower?
Yeah. So I think, I don't remember if it was $79 or $89 a month for yoga, and we dropped it down to $49. Just because.
Do you know what they were paying up there?
I think $79 or $89, like I said. I don't know. Okay. Maybe you should listen when I talk.
Yeah, probably. So what's the response been on the new?
Oh, God, the response in the new yoga studio is fantastic.
Is it soundproof in there?
It's pretty darn soundproof.
Enough?
I asked the builders to do soundproof, and they did a pretty good job. We have a real bassy sound system in there, so when you turn the music on, it kind of hums out everything. But it's great. It's you can dim the lights down to whatever type of mood you want. There's a great sound system in there. It looks very different inside the yoga studio than it does inside of the gym here with like the green lights and stuff. It's very, you know, natural wood tones and Edison bulbs and sexy.
You get a different vibe when you go in there for sure.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that you did that. And for the video that we did, that was the point too.
Yeah, that was cool.
Kind of transition.
How you transition the music when you went into that space too. I think that was a really great part on your end to kind of just highlight how the total mood changes when you go into that room.
Yeah, and it does. Yeah, and exactly. And that's the thing about marketing too, is you're trying to capture that emotion, the space that you have, and I think that's what we try to do. Capture the emotion in the space, and you're trying to relay that to anybody who's watching it. So, partnerships.
Yeah.
What are some partnerships that you had? Anything that was successful? What have you learned over the past from partnerships? Did you have any bad partnerships?
I don't know if I've had any bad partnerships, but I think it's always smart as a small business to try to partner with as many other businesses as possible that have a similar philosophy. So
in what way? Like trades or money?
Not even like trades or money, but even just like promoting local. So that was one thing that we started probably like 6 months or so into being open.
The Lift Local?
Not the Lift Local thing, but totally separate. Like we had like some members that own their own business. And it's like, well, that's awesome. Like, let's put out some of your business cards here. And it started really simple like that. And then to the point where like now we have a business of the month where, you know, you can go any gym and like they'll have a business of the month. But our business of the month has a little bio because it's owned by one of our members. So we have a ton of members who own their own business, whether they own like a pet spa or a photography company, or they're a private real estate agent, or they're a physical therapist or whatever. But like they own their own small clinics or small businesses. So we've been highlighting like those local business and local artists. We have a lot of members that are artists, and it's great to just, you know, it's cool to highlight a business and people see it and then they're like, oh, like I've taken classes with that person. So then they talk to them. And I was actually just talking to somebody in the class before we did this. And they're using the photographer that we have as our business of the month right now.
I saw that. That's excellent.
It's great. It's a great way just to connect people. Once again, like this is more than a gym. It's a place where you literally have a fitness community and like a network of people that, you know, you can utilize. You know, we have a lot of lawyers here and stuff, and they can, if people are starting their own business or get into some legal shenanigans, you know, there's resources here that they're already working out with. So it's great. You're going to need to set that picture off to the side until that foam goes down before you let me highlight on camera how awful you are at pouring beer.
Should we? Come here, Brandon.
That was just, I got certified by Miller Coors.
Okay.
I worked at the tour. No, but the other one was taps. This is the Mexican one.
I heard you kill the keg up there.
Yeah.
Did you? What'd that sound like?
You could hear the air coming out of the line instead of beer.
Oh, crap.
Right, I'll just leave it here for now.
Fantastic.
I need another one, Brandon.
I know.
Did you get a refill?
I've just been constantly refilling. I learned that if I drink my beer all the way down to the bottom and refill it, then I can be like, oh, I drank 4 beers tonight. But I'm just constantly refilling it, like when it gets down a third, it's just one.
Smart man. Wisdom.
It's just one
Wisdom
beer.
from a business owner.
Yeah. Just one beer, honey. That's all I drink tonight.
So what partnerships do you have currently going on that isn't necessarily members here?
Yeah, so we have partnerships with the Iron Horse Hotel, and that's something that we set up where members of the hotel can work out, or guests of the hotel can work out here for free during their stay.
How'd you do that, or why? How did that come up?
So actually, a gentleman who used to work at the Iron Horse was coming over here to work out, and he connected me with the GM at the time and their director of lifestyle, who
So that's one.
set up the partnership. That was one beer. Yeah.
Dang.
And it's been a really great partnership. It kind of goes in waves. But there's certain weeks where we'll have, 10 people from the hotel that come over here to work out with us. And it's just a great amenity because, they have a decent, hotel gym. But a lot of people, you can do your own thing. But like, there's a lot of people that work out at class-based studios like us all over the country. And when they come to stay at the Iron Horse Hotel, they can get a free workout here.
Yeah.
So we offer a huge variety, whether it's kickboxing or strength or yoga. So it doesn't matter what type of workout they do. We pretty much offer it for them. Yeah. So they get free classes here while they're staying at the hotel. And
how do they know that? What do you do to promote that?
They promote it at the hotel. I think it's listed in the gym. They promote it on their website, and then the front desk at the hotel lets people know as well.
Sure.
Because I'll have people that'll message me saying, "Hey, I'm staying at the Iron Horse next week, like Tuesday through Thursday, and I saw we get free classes at your gym." So they'll look at the schedule and we'll block off a guest spot for them during that time. But it's a great amenity, I think, for the hotel.
It is. But why do they do that? Somebody's coming into town and then they're leaving. So why do you do that?
We do it because we get paid from the Iron Horse to do that.
So that's a good thing. We give them
a discounted rate, a significantly discounted rate.
For what, employees to come here?
Well, both for employees, but the hotel pays us, so if we have 30 guests of the hotel that take a class with us in the month of February, they pay us a certain dollar amount per person that had come during that month. So we get paid a little bit, but it's also a really great amenity for the hotel to also offer. So that's the type of partnership I like, something that really works both ways, where it's not just you do something for free for us, or you give us this for free, and we'll market you, or we'll push you on social media. It's like, cool, thanks, but no thanks. Because they're never actual partnerships. They're never mutually beneficial. And this is a really great one we set up because it's phenomenal that people will stay at the hotel because they know they can work out here. I'll have people that come to town and work out with us well, this is great. I'm going to always stay at the Iron Horse when I come to town. So it's just an added little perk, if you're staying here 3 nights and, it's like saving $20 a night because you get a free gym class every night you're in town. So,
is that what you sold to them? Exactly that?
Pretty much along those lines.
Did you meet with the owner of the Iron Horse?
Or the GM at the time, with the GM and the director of lifestyle. But it was great. It's a great partnership.
It is.
They're a great hotel. They do a food and beverage discount to all of our members. They get 10% off at the bar over there. So nice little perk. It goes both ways. I think a lot of people with the hotel, they forget that it's also a really cool bar and a really cool restaurant. So when you think about where do you want to go grab a drink tonight, or where do you want to go to eat? You don't always think about going to a hotel restaurant.
No, you don't.
A hotel bar, but they do because 10% off is really nothing, but it's enough to get you in the door. So I think it works out really great. I think it's been a really fantastic partnership. We've had that in line for over a year now, I want to say, that we've been doing that one.
Yeah, and it's going strong.
And it works good. And we have a couple other discounts that, restaurants and stuff that, we'll give 10-15% off to our members, which is just a nice thing. We like to keep it all local. It's not like they're getting 10% off at Arby's. It's, a local place in Walker's Point, something that's local owned, local operated, something like that. Something along the same lines, but in a different type of business than we are.
So have you been trying to target any other hotels?
Not necessarily.
It's a great idea.
It is a good idea. But with Iron Horse is literally right next door to us, so people staying at the hotel can just walk over.
That's very true.
We could offer it with someplace else, but I don't know, do I want to whore myself out like that? Keep it exclusive.
I don't know.
Do I?
Depends who you are.
I don't know. It is kind of nice that we have that kind of exclusive discount with them, and I'm open to doing it with other hotels. But it just it works really great to have a partnership like that with them right next door.
And you tried it with the apartment complex here too.
Yeah, we do. We do a discount for anyone living because we're in the basement level of a historic building. That the upper floors are all apartments, so we do a little bit of a discount for people living in the building.
Last I heard, they didn't want to do that.
No, they always did.
Oh.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
I don't know. Maybe I misheard.
One or too many beers.
I've had one too less of beers because it's foamy.
It's going down. It's about half the foam is gone. You want to wipe some forehead sweat in that so it goes down a little bit?
Thank you, sir.
That's not sanitary. We don't do that. It's gross.
So what kind of beer is this?
So this, I am drinking the Lucy Sour from Indeed Brewing. You are drinking the Mexican Honey Imperial Lager, also from Indeed.
I had this last time.
It's a fantastic beer. Both of these are really great.
Where's Indeed?
Indeed is right on 2nd Street. So they're a Minneapolis brewery that just opened a satellite location a couple blocks away from us.
Okay.
I reached out to them shortly after they opened, and Jeff, their GM, works out here. We have a great partnership going on, so we put them on tap. We've had them on tap for a while. We had them on tap for our grand reopening party where we drank a lot of beer, lots of beer.
So you're going to whore yourself out to beer, but not to hotels.
Absolutely. Whatever brewery. But no, we do different breweries, so that's always our thing. So like the beer with the gym focus, we don't just put like Bud Light on tap.
Keystone.
Or Keystone.
Yeah, those days are over.
Yeah, I know, it's long gone. We do all local breweries, so something that's local to Milwaukee. We've done pretty much everyone that's been willing to work with us. There's been some breweries that haven't been able to work with us because they're so small. They're like, honestly, we don't have enough beer to like keep our tap room stocked. Like, we can't distribute you like even as little as a quarter barrel.
Yeah.
But yeah, we worked with Indeed, Milwaukee Brewing Company, Eagle Park, Components, Broken Bats. I want to say we also did Venture Brew. I don't know. Matt used to be in charge of just making sure there was always beer on tap. And, yeah.
Not lately.
Well, I've kind of taken it over recently because now we have 2 taps. We can have twice as much beer.
And the coffee.
And coffee.
You got cold brew coffee.
Yeah.
Who's that from?
That's from N7 up in Grafton. So we did Pilcrow and we also do N7, but it's just nice because that's kind of our thing. Like, not everyone's into beer. So Brew Fitness can be whatever brew you want. Yeah. Fresh brewed coffee, local brewed beer. We offer a lot of things that we give away for free. They just kind of add to the environment that we try to create here. Yeah. So you work hard and you play hard. So work out hard enough that you earned a beer.
So what's the process of finding one of these breweries to work with you? Do you have a pitch that you say to them? Do you try?
Really. I just say, hey, I'm a gym.
What do you do? Email them?
I email them. Sometimes I stop in.
Sure.
It's very informal.
Yeah.
Sometimes they work with a distribution company and they're like, cool, contact General Beverage or whatever to like buy our beer. And sometimes they self-distribute. So they're like, hey, awesome. I'll run a keg over on my lunch break and they'll just drop a keg off for us.
Sure.
So they're all a little different how they operate. But it's a cool philosophy. We like to cross-promote them as well. So like right now we have Indeed Brewing on tap. So any new member who joins the gym gets a coupon for free beer in their tap room. So we try to always promote our customers, when we have a certain brewery on tap, a way for them to get into that brewery to support them directly. So it's part of that partnership and actually going both ways that we talked about.
Yeah. Do you have another one lined up so far?
Well, I really want to do Broken Bat after this because they're moving into a sweet new space.
Do they know this?
I've talked to them about it a while ago. And like one of our kegs is out today. So when the other one's out in a few days, I'm going to need some beer Broken Bat.
Bat.
But yeah, they're moving from the 3rd Ward, just a few blocks away from here in Walker's Point to a huge space. It's going to be awesome.
So they're growing.
They're growing, yeah. It's always cool to see other small businesses and other breweries like that and really any small business thrive. Yeah. So we like to know that, anybody or any business that, grows that, we partner with them or we were part of them or we supported them. Yeah. There's enough people out there for every business to survive. Yeah. So you got to support your friends and support everyone else. And
support local businesses.
Yeah. Support small businesses.
Yeah.
You realize that like when you support a small business, like, cool, like, thank you for spending your money here. 'Cause like this goes towards like literally the people that are working directly with you. It's not going to some executive sitting in an office or some,
And most of the time they're putting it right back in their business.
Exactly. We're putting it right back in, and we're putting it right back into the communities that we live and work in. So
yeah.
That's why you should all support local and work out at small, locally owned, non-franchise gyms.
And work with local marketing experts.
Yeah, that too. Hey.
That's exactly what we've been doing. The same process that you have been is you make money, you put it back into the business. I mean, when I met you, I didn't have all this.
Oh, I know.
I had a camera. I had that camera.
I remember, that little thing with the weird legs on it. I was joking with somebody when you guys were setting this up. They're like, oh shit, they got like this whole setup. And I said, yeah, I'm obviously paying them way too much. They have way too much equipment.
Hey,
now.
When you're going to see this, it's going to look dope.
Better look dope. You better Photoshop these wrinkles off me too. And
did you see that photo of you? Yeah, it's on a T-shirt.
I know, it's funny.
I photoshopped the wrinkles out.
I appreciate that. Owning a business is stressful.
Exactly. You got to de-stress somehow. I got location. How'd you choose this location? Did it just come up?
Street level Google Maps.
How are you going to choose your next location?
A little bit more in-depth research.
And what's that going to be?
So we're actually in the process of looking for a potential second location. So when I worked with you like 2 months ago, it was kind of to relaunch our new edition. So it was back in August. We just had a day where it was a Monday, and I don't know if I ran the numbers on how many people we had come through the door, but we had like 65% of our member base come in to take a class that day, which is absurd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every single class is full with a wait list, like all day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, like I need another gym, or I need a bigger gym. So it like stayed consistent for a few weeks, and we're like, we like kept growing, and we're signing up all these new members. And I almost felt bad where I'm like, I don't know where you're going to go. We have so many people.
So is that how you know when to scale?
I mean,
classes are sold out.
It really snuck up on me because we had grown so much over the course of the summer, which usually I kind of assumed that we would slow down over the summer, but I was so busy planning our big second anniversary party, I didn't realize that we like grew so much in July, and suddenly August hit, and we were like at capacity, like so like bigger than we ever thought we'd be as a gym. Yeah. And I'm like, shit, I need to like either open a second location, move this to a bigger location, or find a way to like get more people in here. So that started like a 2-month process of working with some realtors, looking at a bunch of locations, different areas around Milwaukee.
So you're deep into it.
Yeah, different areas around Walker's Point. And then talking with the building, saying, hey, we would love to be here long term, but we can't unless we can, take over more space. So it ended up nice that we were able to take over this adjacent space and worked on here, which the building had been using for the last few years.
Is that why you moved down here? Because you couldn't find another place?
No, we moved down here because I love this location. I love the fact that like when you walk into not just like this physical address or this location, but like it's a cool space. Like when you walk into a lot of like chain gyms, they all look the same.
Yeah.
They're all the same colors, the same walls, the studios look the same. It's you could go to an Orange Theory in any city in the country and they all look the same.
It's branding, though.
It is.
It's supposed to, I guess.
Which is what you want. You want that consistent feel. But, like, I wanted something unique and something true to the area. So, like, this is the oldest concrete structured building in the city. Wow. It's 120 years old, I want to say. I don't know. There's a plaque out front that says how old it is. But, yeah, these pillars next to us go all the way to the top floor. They're 120 years old. It's an old-ass building. It used to be a chocolate factory. It was a few other things between then and now. But it's a cool space. Like, like the wall back there, it's beat to shit. It's crooked. It's got tons of character.
It's got character. It looks good.
It's 120 years old. So we tried to mix like all brand new equipment, brand new flooring, a lot of brand new finishes, shiny and new, mixed with that, historic, old, vintage, original look of the building. So that was kind of important to me when we were even looking at like a second location. I didn't want a new build. I didn't want like something white and square.
They don't look good nowadays.
I wanted something different. So people love like the character that this place has. It kind of lost its wow factor a little bit to me. But
why? Because you've been here for 3 years.
Like, I walk in here every single day.
Yeah.
But then
But now you got this new space.
I know. But like people come in and they like point out to you like this doesn't look like any other gym.
No.
But it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. This is fucking cool.
So you're waiting for that perfect gym to just pop up.
Well,
that perfect space.
We're in the market because, like I said, we added on. We essentially doubled the size of the gym. We're about 6,000 square feet now. We've got 3 studios that at some point in time we have 3 classes going on simultaneously. And yeah, we're very full again. We grew astronomically. November, December, January, and again in February. So yeah, we're looking for a second gym. We're looking to expand on the brand, and it's not just because we want more people to work out with us, but it's tying back to like, this is more than a gym. This is a place where people come and they get more out of it than just their physical workout. This might be their de-stress from the day, or this might be their opportunity to vent to some people that they met here, or we have a member now who's having a baby, Jordan. She's technically the queen of the gym because we did a challenge and we crowned her the queen of the gym. But she's pregnant right now, and some gym members threw her like a little baby shower, and it was really cool to see, this picture of her online of her and all these people that she met at the gym. Yeah. Which it's phenomenal that like a place like this can create like lasting friendships. So we're looking to expand the Brew Fitness brand. Not necessarily because like we want to do more workouts and we want more people to work out with us, but when you have something that's as powerful as what it's become, to be more than a gym like that, I feel like I'm doing a disservice not to expose that to other people or give up other people that opportunity. Yeah.
Well, that's what the world seems to be looking for, is community.
Yeah. Any business,
in a digital world,
goes above and beyond like that, or does things differently. Like, you want to see those businesses thrive, and like you might sell candles, but like if you sell candles with like a specific philosophy and a cause, like people want to get behind that.
It's what you do and why you do it. That's what people care.
Why you do it. Yeah. I was listening to a bunch of murder podcasts when I'm on vacation because that's what I do.
Sure.
But there was this one podcast that had this commercial always popping through, and the commercial always said like, envision like 30 years from now, when we're living in a world that cares less about like profit and more about community and caring. And I just kind of thought to myself, because I'd heard that commercial like 30 times while I was binge listening to murder podcasts. And I'm like, I don't have to wait 30 years. Like, I own that place. Like, we did it now. So I feel like this is a great opportunity to not only spread the brand and blow the brand up in a huge way, but to give people that opportunity to be a part of something like this.
For sure. So I guess the last topic, we talked about community and community being important. And we did work with Milwaukee. We just saw Jeremy at Milwaukee a couple nights ago. And that's what, do you know Milwaukee? That's what they're about, is creating community, creating spaces, events, places for people. Did you
know that I was a Milwaukeean of the week?
No. When?
It's a while ago. It's not a big thing. Anybody can do it. You just have to send a photo in the bio.
We aren't.
Well, almost anybody.
All right, photo and bio is going in next. We know them. No, but community is a huge thing, and we respect them very much because that's what they do, is they create spaces for people to come. But they too also utilize social media to do that. And if they didn't have social media, they wouldn't be able to reach the masses. They wouldn't be able to promote. And it's the same with you, that we feel is you have this community, but how do you promote it? And we feel that social media is a great way to do that. So what's your thoughts on social media? Has it been helping you, or how do you feel social media enhances your community?
Well, social media is, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword. It has its pros, but it definitely has its cons. I mean, it's interesting. I'm binge watching Dexter for like the 3rd time.
It's a great show.
It's a fantastic
show. That was one
of
my favorites.
But I actually just watched an episode last night, and the little whatever blood spatter intern was like, Dexter was Googling something, and he's like, oh, you're still using Google? Like, use this one. It like cuts out all the SEO bullshit and like just gives you like targeted results. Yeah. And I'm like, that's really interesting that like they said that in an episode of a show like that aired how many years ago, but that's all that like a lot of marketing is. It's all like optimization, like getting your face in front of it. And I feel like social media is good and bad in that same regard, where it can flood your feed or your inbox or your screen with things that they want you to see or people that are paying for you to see. Necessarily not the best thing. And so I feel like it's a hard thing for some small businesses to really dump all this money into getting all into it. So I've loved working with you because you're able to kind of target specifically what works for me. So like when you had proposed coming back and doing some work for Brew Fitness, you had proposed one thing and I told you, that's cool, but like, you know, as far as like advertising, like on our Facebook page, one thing that you had wanted to do was a lot of like ads to get new members on our Facebook. Yeah. And I said, that's awesome, but look at who follows our gym on Facebook. 80% of it are current members. Yeah. So I'm not saying that we don't need to encourage new people, but what we really want to do is we want to create fun, engaging posts that our current members you know, can interact with. Because if everything's like, join the gym, and they're like, well, I'm already a fucking member.
And that's what a lot of gyms do in the area. And we've made a huge transition too, because that's what we've realized. It's not about you making money. It's just about enhancing your community and showing your community.
It's about highlighting your brand in that, like, you know.
You want people to stay here.
That's how I think, like, we're very different. And like, I loved how, like, my dogs are here, not as much as they should be, according to everybody. My dogs should live here. They're always pissed.
They should. They're wonderful. They are wonderful.
My dogs are great. But yeah, like you posted a picture of, you know, one of my dogs, and you like had people like share a picture with their dog, and like so many people like share pictures of their dog, and it's like that's the thing, like getting people to interact. Like, am I going to get any new members because you posted a thing about the dogs? Maybe, because people are going to see that and be like, wow, this is a really fun, like engaging, interactive like group of people. Like I want to be a part of that community. It's not all like join this gym, $0 now, last chance. Blah, 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 bullshit. Yeah. You know, and that was the whole like shtick and gimmick that like a lot of those big box gyms do that like, I'm just like,
I know, we see them. We see them. Stupid. We just, I don't remember who it was, but we literally just clicked on it and it brings up their video with the website and it's all in red. And it's just like, there's only 15 spots left. And it's just like, that's why we love Ryan and Brew Fitness so much, because you don't care about that. It's not about that. It's just about building your community.
Yeah, I feel like people are smart enough that they can see past the bullshit.
But there are people that aren't.
Well, true, but...
And maybe that's who they're getting.
Maybe.
What happened? You got a hair in there?
No, I popped a bubble and then I had beer in my finger and I didn't want to just wipe it on your nice white countertop or your tablecloth.
Yeah, it can be washed.
Your mom will wash it?
My mom will wash it. He knows me all too well. I love my mom.
I've heard. I've heard.
So, I really appreciate the time, you coming on here and spending some time with me, talking about Brew Fitness, talking about you, talking about entrepreneurship, what's successful.
Say that word again. Entrepreneurship.
He's so smart. He's so smart.
I got a master's degree in speaking words and health and fitness management.
Wow. That's why we're here. Learn from this man. So, Becoming Alpha is going to challenge all of our guests at their own game. So you have three options.
All right, bring it.
I'm going to challenge you in a push-up competition, a pull-up competition, or a beer chugging competition of your choice.
Right now?
Right now. If you need time to stretch, old man, you can stretch. Hey, you can't give away my weakness.
Do you need to use one of the bands for assistance right now?
Are you allowing it?
No, I'm not allowing it.
Then why are you asking?
I'll let you pick.
No.
Push-ups or pull-ups, but there's also beer chugging before.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Chug your beer, and then do however many push-ups or pull-ups you want to set the bar to.
Chug our beer, 15 pull-ups.
Deal.
Cheers.
And I'm like chugging a 10% beer.
Dan, come on, finish.
You got 15.
Finish.
But can we look at his pits? He's so nervous.
You got 15?
He did.
Becoming Alpha.
Alpha.